Yesterday, there was a protest or some sort of gathering or whatever done by the Proud Boys over in Portland. And as is expected at this point, Antifa showed up to counter-protest, and I use the term counter-protest extremely loosely because give Antifa any excuse to smash, loot, and plunder, and they are happy to jump on board. Well, in their wake of destruction, they decided to beat the ever-loving shit out of someone. This someone is, I have found out, a journalist for a online publication called the Quillette. Now, I don't know this publication. I've never heard of it before this. I don't know if it's shit or not. What I do know is they beat up a fucking journalist, and it seems to be for the fact that he was a journalist they didn't like. Now, I'm not one to talk because I have said some nasty, nasty things about journalists that I don't like, but here's the difference. I would never, in my wildest dreams, ever want or even think of hurting journalists that I don't like. I say they shouldn't have a job, but I don't want them physically hurt to the point where they have a fucking brain hemorrhage. That's right. That's what Antifa did yesterday. Among other things, they fucking threw a brick at the back of this guy's head, and he is now in the hospital for a brain hemorrhage. Good job, Antifa. You're really showing us that when the right goes low, you go high. Right for the head. What sickens me is that this was absolutely expected, and yet everyone is trying to defend them. The biggest cop-out defense I have heard from this is, oh, well, he should have known that getting into this would cause him to get hurt. It's his own fault for stepping into something he shouldn't have been in. So every journalist that's been beheaded by the Taliban or ISIS deserved to be beheaded because they were daring to report on the Taliban or ISIS, huh? Is that what you're saying? The other big one I've heard is that, oh, well, Antifa has never actually killed anyone, whereas the right has. Antifa, a group of thousands of LARPers, because that's what they fucking are. They aren't people, they're LARPers. They are live-action role players. They're playing pretend at terrorists, because God forbid you actually put them next to real terrorists, they will shit themselves. These people playing pretend haven't killed anyone because they don't fucking know how, or they lack the capability to do it. Which you would think is a good thing, but considering they're trying to pretend to be terrorists and anarchists, is kind of pathetic. I'm glad that they lack the ability to kill people, but they fucking try. It's just that they aren't built for this sort of shit. The closest they've come is this and the bike lock dude. He had a sock full of bike locks, beat someone over the head with it, and still couldn't kill him. And I use those two because I would also like to point to another dude who, as far as I'm aware, wasn't affiliated with Antifa, was just a random nutjob on the left, who shot up the baseball field where a lot of Republican politicians were practicing for a game. He didn't kill anyone because, generally speaking, the left does not know how to gun. I can guarantee if that was a right-wing guy, because right-wing guys tend to know how to gun, probably would have taken someone out with him. And I'm not saying this as, oh, that's good, or, oh, that's awesome. No, I'm saying this to explain why Antifa and the left haven't really killed anyone yet, because they don't fucking know how. That's not an excuse. Oh, well, the right-wing guys kill someone. The right-wing guys are also usually single, solitary nut jobs that the right says are abhorrent monsters. Whereas the left has thousands upon thousands of Antifa members that they defend at every fucking turn. Hell, a very similar incident happened in Portland about 8 months ago. That Antifa was protesting something because that's what Antifa does. And so they had the police were diverting traffic away from them. And some Antifa members saw a car that had a North Carolina license plate. They started screaming that he was a white supremacist, because, obviously. And they beat the shit out of his car and endangered his own life. When the guy in the car was screaming out to the police for help, they refused to do anything because, and I'm paraphrasing here, they didn't want to escalate the situation. Yes. Because when you have terrorists beating the shit out of someone and threatening to kill them, that's, oh boy, can't escalate that. They might actually give him a wet willy. How the fuck do you escalate any further than attempted murder? Then the mayor said that, oh yeah, the police absolutely did the right thing. The police should not have interfered. So, the government of Portland is absolutely on Antifa's side. Or at least it showed that it was enough on their side to embolden them to do this. What they did yesterday, they had milkshakes, which, by the way, fuck anyone that says you should throw milkshakes at people you don't like, because this is what you get. By encouraging this shit, you get Antifa throwing concrete milkshakes at people. This was quick-drying concrete that they were throwing at people. Heaven forbid that got in anyone's nose, mouth, or eyes. But beyond that, just throwing any sort of substance that you don't know what is at people is scary as fuck. Oh, well, it's just a milkshake. It can't hurt them. Stop being such a snowflake. There are only two genders. Your move. Yes, because words are worse than actual objects thrown at you that you have no clue what are. Uh-huh. Are you fucking serious? This is why I cannot stand what the left is doing right now. And it blows my fucking mind, because for as bad as the right has been, and I am very quick to show how bad the right was, especially during the 90s, I can't remember them actually advocating for throwing unknown chemical objects at people. And these chemical objects that I'm saying are generally milkshakes, don't get me wrong, but Antifa has now taken the step to do something different, but still looks like a milkshake, to try and use the, oh, well, it's just a milkshake, guys, quit being such pussies. How long until it's acid? I'm serious. How long until they put fucking acid in the milkshakes and throw that at people? Unless Antifa is stopped, labeled as a terrorist organization nationally, which it should be. It's been labeled a terrorist organization by at least New Jersey and I think a couple of other states, but it needs to be national FBI regarded as a terrorist organization at this point. They are going to get worse and worse unless they are stopped and locked up now. This Portland shit needs to be the big difference maker. You had a guy beaten the fuck up, had concrete thrown in his, quick dry concrete thrown in his face, and a brick slammed into the back of his head. What more evidence do you need that these people are trying to kill someone? They are just fucking terrible at it. Just because they're bad at it does not constitute that it is not attempted murder, you fucks. Lock them up. And I'm going to keep saying that every fucking time they do anything. Lock Antifa up now. God fucking damn it. Our government is defending terrorists. What a world we live in. Fuck me.